Hello there, everybody. My name's Chadarak, and welcome to the game called The Beginner's Guide. This game was created by one of the creators of the Stanley Parable, which was an amazingly hilarious game, and this is his solo project, The Beginner's Guide. I haven't really heard much about it. I just went off my gut instinct that since he made it, it would be hilarious. So here we are. Let's begin the game. I'm pretty excited because Stanley Parable is just so damn funny. Make sure the audio is on. Check. What we got? Controls. WASD click. My favorite control scheme. Not really. I've gotten better at it though. I will say that.
Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon.
You're welcome.
I wrote the Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Okay. This is cool. Whoa. Totally white room. Whoa! I have a gun now.
This game is
Whisper Machine, status active, evacuate immediately.
And it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
I don't know. I like the edginess of it. Like the gun reminds me. It like kind of reminds me of like Half-Life-ish.
Security call breached.
There we go.
Alien life form inbound.
Uh-oh.
It kind of looks like this game was abandoned.
Do I go in there?
For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are. rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin shooting.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
It's so true. I also like how the universe is a rectangle. Wait, you didn't know that? Illuminati! Oh, so E also shoots the gun.
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on
What's
it.
back here?
Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it. Okay, this is the part that's interesting.
I was just about
The
to
game
figure it
has
out.
this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey.
To the engine
you
room.
there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Why would I want to do that? I don't know who any of these people are. But damn it, I'll be a
Let
hero!
me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
I'm in the universe.
The beam causes
I think I like
him to
this one
start
better.
floating.
Oh, cool.
And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking.
That's a
but
good point.
What's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Alright, let's do it. We're still in November of 2008. The past was behind her. Can I move? I can jump. Can I move? How can I move?
Yep, in this game you can only walk
There we go.
backwards.
Oh. Oh God. Oh, and there's holes in the floor. Alright.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist
the future could
experiment
not be
combining
seen.
motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually
Why
it
does the
seems to be
future keep
more
changing?
focused, more
Oh.
complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
When she stops and looks, it becomes clear. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength?
It's a short
To
little
confront
thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that.
Interesting.
Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
I'm not gonna. Ooh, hey. Oh, I don't like this. You are now entering.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this
Oh.
game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
I'm invested.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one
So,
at the start of his game.
Nonsense in nearly every direction.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do? I know it's tempting, but there's actually nothing.
I know a lot of people that are
Sorry.
like that. Damn you! That's where that Stanley Parable comes in. I'm definitely interested, because right now I don't know what to really think of it. Just going on the stairway to heaven. Oh my gosh, these stairs go on forever. And I'm getting slower.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute
Oh, am I
crawl,
gonna stop?
the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Ah, perfect. Is there gonna be nothing in there? Okay, there's something in here. Press X to... Oh, okay. Jesus.
A room that's warm,
There's a lot going on here.
nice, and filled with little ideas for games.
Oh, that's cool.
Coda would often tell me that he
They
didn't
are.
mind if people
I'm
thought
a
of
gate.
him as cold or
Press U to
distant.
surrender.
He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Ah. That's neat. That's really cool. You are the queen dusting your jewelry while your kingdom is destroyed. Oh, I wanted to read more. Nowhere in January of 2009. Okay. Ready, set, fish. I was expecting a lake. Maybe it's a fishing of a different sort.
Well, this is new
Am
for
I a hacker?
Coda. It's an actual
I'm gonna be
puzzle.
Fishing
Go
someone.
ahead and see if you can solve it.
Did I do it? Ooh. Tricky. Is there like a thing on one of these walls in her? Oh. I don't know if I can. I can't go back. Doesn't seem like these go anywhere. Is it meant to be solved? Like, is there a wall that isn't really a wall? I don't want to look too deep into this because I don't feel like this is very deep. Maybe I'll just keep flicking this. Like, just keep on flipping this switch back and forth.
Alright, let me just walk you through it. You're gonna hit the switch on the outside to open the door, then hit the same switch and walk through the door before it closes. You'll see a second switch on the inside, which will open the second door. Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon.
Was that really there before? Because didn't I do that? What do these dots mean? I could have sworn I did that. I feel like I did that, it just didn't show up. I feel like we've been here before.
That seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle,
I'm watching you
get
doors.
to the end. Simple enough.
Oh.
Alright, Now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Oh. Whoa. Holy
How about
crap!
that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that
Those
this
are all
game
made!
comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing. Or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
These are all such good points. This is really neat. Oh god, we're back here.
So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier,
I am now
tells us
exiting.
that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
That's really cool. This guy seems very, very, very unique. I like that. His style, The Great and Lovely Descent.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine,
so there's just one house,
which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
No.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
That is very true. I did not think about that when we first went in. What is your guys' favorite engines? Like, I know a lot of people like Unity, but a lot of people. I fell. Oh, I guess I could have just fallen, but then I didn't get to see all the shapes. Oh well, we're down here now. Might as well make the best of it. There's a wall there. It's weird. What's that noise? Why is there just one light there? It's weird. Oh. It's just like a... Oh, that's what that was. Am I in a jail? Looks like a...
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Oh. Here I am.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game.
That's all I wanted to do.
Why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in, and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Yeah, he seems like a really interesting fella. I wish I had an art sense like this.
It's the puzzle again.
With
With
there's
the
those
exact same
dots
solution
again
as the last time.
in the same order. I see those dots. They kind of look like steam, like the little.
There's still no clear indication of what makes
our
this
old-
puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Well, too bad we're smarter than that. Alright. I trust you, guy in my head, who makes funny games. I would love to play the Stanley Parable again,
Here,
because I played it
Coda
before I did
begins
the
using a
channel.
kind of
It's been out for a while
dialogue
now.
system that he fashioned out
This
of
is
the
such a funny
engine's
game.
chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3
Whoa.
buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Hi. You there. Did you come up from above? What was up there? There was a world stamped with whiteness. Yes, there was an enormous prison I spent hours in. There were these floating colored boxes. Let's go with the third one. That's the world above. You've been there. Now this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and 2 switches? Yes, I did. It was literally the last thing I did. Again, perfect. Now tell us, please. How did you solve it? Tell us the solution to get to the other side. I didn't solve it. Someone else let me in. Trust me, you don't want to go over there. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I didn't solve it. You didn't solve it. So you have learned nothing. You cannot help us escape the prison. You are not the one I need. Surely there will be someone else. Okay. Oh. Are those switches? No, it's just like an oven. Well, bye. Hi. Was there a puzzle you had to pass? No, I've been right here the entire time. I suggest you go and see the puzzle sometime. It's not meant to be solved, but you can sit in the black space in the middle. Why should I sit in the black space? Oh, it's plenty peaceful. It may not seem that way at first, but you'll come to think so in time, eventually.
And so we make one last descent down
Why
to
does
the
your
final
head keep
floor of
moving?
the level.
I have to go talk to them again. Ooh, this is a staircase. Is it descending? Alright, here we are. Now, could all these levels just be like pathways from that last game?
I can't tell you quite why.
Is that a
but
possibility?
For some reason, Coda
Seems like a
fixates
good-
on this lamppost. It's going to
It's like a
appear at the end of
school
every
courtyard.
single one of his games from here on out.
Or is it really just another
I'll tell you
prison?
what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
I hope so. I hope so. So far, this is kind of like a weird game. So now we're in April 2009. The game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players.
So first
we're
off,
playing
I'm
Dark
sure you
Souls.
can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes
Although I
that
feel
you're
like
going
we're
to see
not.
have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played.
Nice room.
This was
Not.
shortly
Oh,
after
it was
I met
just
him
distasteful.
at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this
Good
person.
lord.
In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played. But it's ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me.
I can assure you, guarantee
play someone's
there's
game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
That is kind of cool. Need others. I see how so many people complain about that, particularly in the Dark Souls series. They'll just put a door in the game deliberately, have it open. Oh my gosh. How many of these did he make? But it is an interesting idea, getting to know someone like through their, like, even if it's not just games, like through like art, through like writing, through like, that's what makes people so like incredible to me, is that they can make such like cool things, and you can really like see them through their work, not just through like, you know, because sometimes I feel like a lot of times when I first meet someone, I don't necessarily feel like our conversations are empty, but I kind of like feel like they're very like structural, like, oh hey, like my name is so and so, I'm from so and so, and I do so and so. What about you? And it's like, same thing. It's a really cool drawing though. We will all die someday. Stop pretending you are other people. It's about how this game is pretentious and you all suck. Maybe I'll feel real someday. Well, I'm here now.
At the end of this
Yeah,
level,
we're
we're
all
going to
here
see
now.
the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what
There
I
must
think
be a
the puzzle
reason for it
means.
though.
Each of these games
His terrible
represents an
secret, he kept
idea
it
that
well.
was on Coda's mind at the time that he was
I
making
beat the game.
And the puzzle
But
is
you're
a
all the way
of
over here.
closing
How'd you
the
beat the
door
game?
on a
More room?
previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
How do you leave notes? Is that supposed to be a typewriter? There's our lamppost. Yep, there's the typewriters. Are you there? Please say something. It can be anything. I just need you to say
this
something.
one is
Talk to me,
tough.
please.
It's
Why are you
gonna
having
kinda
such
just
difficult
spin
talking?
its own
Speak,
wheels
speak,
for a
speak.
few minutes. Hang with it.
Okay. Porn stars die too. Alright.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's
This one
particularly
worries me.
interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has
fact,
all
this
of
one
this
worries me a
modern
lot.
furniture. And I don't
This
know
room
why,
seemed
but
the
he decides
exact
he needs
same,
to
though.
revisit this prison. He's going to start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? Oh, a giant hole in the ground. That's not a giant hole in the ground. Okay, now about the wall in the room. 10 stoves lined up along the wall. Those. I think we should light up this room a bit. A skylight! Full ceiling window. But let's go with the Tesla coils.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just
And a table.
weird
I
for
need a table.
weirdness' sake.
I'm pretty sure none of my choices are making the difference. Table or vent in 1930.
So okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Whoa. That is true. But surely there was something he wanted to convey. Hello, please walk forward. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care. First, click on this table. Good. Now, cover the photo frame and click it. There's our stings again. See them. Now, turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. You can do that. Now, go to the left side sofa and move it a little. Finally, touch the shelves. That's it. In real
And of
prison,
course,
the escape will
now
not
the
open.
table is gone
Return to
and
the
you
start
can't
to be
begin the
taken
chain
back
of
to your
events
prison.
escape.
Okay.
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually
I don't
get
know
to
how
the
that.
well.
How,
And then a version where the
Turn.
inside of the prison is the outside and the outside
returning
is the
now.
inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically
Good.
unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going. And then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
whoa. It's like going back through the other games. Okay, this seems complete-ish. There's our lamppost, so that's the end. Maybe. Is that like a house? Looks like a house. And there's... Is that like a telephone booth? My Doctor Who! So,
It's a
is the light gonna turn on? Hello,
And
who
so
is this?
this is what Coda wants, is to be able to
Hey,
talk
it's
to
me.
someone, to share what's on
I'm
his
you
mind,
from after
and
you
to
escaped
get
prison.
some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony
me?
is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself.
So you were trapped in this prison
all of
too.
these games so far are Coda talking to
Yes, I
himself.
would. Whoa. It's another interesting concept. So if he's talking to himself, is he trying to? What is he trying to find out? Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped from me? Did I get a call? I'm just gonna say yes. What did they tell you? What did you have to do to get out? All they told me was to be sincere. What?
I can see why he considers this a fitting
That
conclusion
freed
to
you?
the prison games. After
How does
all
that
of
work?
the obsession and frustration, just to be told by
Just
someone
be
you
sincere.
can trust that things are going to be okay,
Sincere about what?
wouldn't that be nice?
That's exactly what you need to figure out in order to escape.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
That is a pretty nice feeling. I don't know, but I'm actually gonna go ahead and wrap up this first episode of this game here. This game is very weird. It's not at all what I was expecting from the creator of the Stanley Parable. Now, I'm sure once we get along, maybe there's going to be a thing that just opens it up, like once we get past all of Coda's games. But I will say it is interesting, like, so far. Like, I don't know if this was a good game to necessarily play for, like, the channel, because, like, unless people are really interested in it, I don't really want to keep making you guys, like, go, like, kind of go along with it. But if you guys like it, let me know in the comment, let me know with a like, because if you guys are liking it, I'll keep playing it, because I know I'm going to finish it, like, for myself, just because, like, it does seem very interesting. I like the point that he's trying to make, and I want to see exactly how Coda finishes all these, like, series of games, and how they're intermingled with each other, and, like, why this creator of, like, a really good game like the Stanley Parable would go out of his way to make a game explaining all this stuff. So there's definitely, like, a point in there, and I really want to see that personally. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of The Beginner's Guide. If you liked it, hit that like button and comment to let me know what you guys thought. So if you guys want to see more games that I've done, you can check out the annotations here, or you can check down in the description below. So thank you guys so much again for watching, and as always, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye! Ooh, buttons! I love pushing buttons! Hi, you're awake now. Hey, look at all your other buddies. Tap, 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 tap. Do all the taps.